Hi everybody and welcome to the start of welcome back, to Persona 4 Golden. And in the last part we actually find out who was behind all this shit. And it was the it was the gas station attendant. Alright. So so in this part what we're doing is we are starting to head through the final dungeon of the game and on our way to the final boss. So yeah, this here I think is just pretty much a reassessment, sort of retelling of the whole thing, so that it's our last day, and instead of relaxing, instead of hanging out, instead of gonna get some food or going out and having a chill out session down the pub. Instead, we are going to fight a godlike creature and save the world. I think that's more interesting, to be fair. But yep, we're onwards to the final dungeon and on our way to the final boss, which is very nice.
Even if we had to fight every inch of our
so yeah, bloody hell. So yeah, this is pretty much just the final area that we need to go to. And in this last dungeon as well, you can actually get the ultimate weapon for the main character here. So we can, and I think I do pick it up. I do pick it up at some point during this dungeon, which is awesome.
Make himself look all cool, but he's so pathetic it makes my skin crawl.
Damn, Teddy, that's really harsh.
No wonder I smell of orangey freshness.
Ha 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 ha, Teddy.
Let's do this.
All right, let's go. Time for the final battle, and into the last dungeon of the game. The cool thing about this one is that at least we don't need. I think I was wandering around like an idiot then. That's why there was that cut. So yeah, pretty much we don't need to bother this time. Like, we don't need to try and look around at anything. We just head through. And so here's the final dungeon of the game. To start off with the music, which I can't remember the name of the music actually. It's something like Corridor to the End or something like that. I'll have to have a check when I didn't think to look this up. But the music is a nice piano piece, which is actually very sad and very kind of suspenseful, I guess. I absolutely love that. So this is the Eternal Sand. Usually electric attacks on that whole asshole, and the Divine Mother is weak to wind attacks. Oh, look at that! I happen to have both of those moves, so let's kill this prick. We can kill the other Eternal Sand with another Zeodyne, and we can hit an Agidyne on him. Isn't weak to that, but haha, my Garydyne will finish them all off. Once again, I'll say it again, I love Yosuke's persona design. Looks fucking awesome. So yeah, this is the Yomotsu Hirasaka is the name of this place. I assume that is fuck you. I assume that is some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm struggling to think of the word. My brain's gone. Some sort of reference to a Japanese mythology. Darkness on this arsehole. They're kind of annoying to deal with, but I can use Zeodyne on these. Get rid of these at least fairly quickly. No, I can deal with this, pal. You take a breather. And I think here, do I just... Oh yeah, I haven't got anything really. Oh yeah, you can change, so I'm having a look. Do I have anything with dark abilities? I do. I have Anubis here. Anubis is a pretty cool persona actually to use. Madoon. That will finish him off.
Let's go, partner.
Which means now we can use the physical. We can just go all out attack on this asshole. And Risei powers us up. The cool thing is near the end of the game, Risei, I think, it's not every time that she will power you up, but it's now like when you've got her ultimate persona, it goes up like a ridiculous amount. It's almost every other turn that you'll get that, which is really useful. So yeah, in terms of the design of the dungeon, it's fairly straightforward. It's just a bunch of corridors with rooms off to the side. There isn't really any gimmick to these levels, to the levels on this final dungeon. It's just head through. You just head through the dungeon, and you take out. You just head through. It's basically you just head through the dungeon, and once you've covered the whole floor, you move on to the next floor. There's no real big deal with it. I can honestly say that I found, because these are they're obviously a higher level than in Marie's dungeon. In this dungeon, obviously, but I can still say that I think Marie's dungeon is more difficult and more challenging. This is fairly simple. This is the Mistress Pot. She's weak to almost every kind of special attack. And these are the Grand Magus, and they're weak to dark. So use Agidyne, use whatever magic you can on these assholes, and they will go down. They don't take that much damage though. And I think, yeah, I decided to just, fuck you. Magaridine, let's finish. Let's cause a fair bit of damage. Like, yeah, later on in the game, like Yosuke does a fucking obscene amount of damage with his special attacks. Especially, Garidine and Magaridine causes so much damage. Yeah, I love that. So, new enemies. These are the Wrathful Book. They're only weak to physical attacks, and they don't really do anything. Nothing else can be done to them. Special attacks won't work, so just physical attack. Shit. Oh. Yeah, I was so pissed off when that happened. Physical walls, and oh. So yeah, at this point I was pretty pissed, as you can tell. Yeah, so now I'm looking through. Is there anything? Can I get rid? Nullify stat bonuses on all foes. Yes, and I can't. Yeah, I've got no. Yeah, so I don't have any any items which can allow me to get rid of their buffs. Which is kind of annoying, but I got the smart bomb. So yeah, the items cut across, they don't count as like elemental damage, so you can just cause a fair bit of damage to them. Yeah, let's do that again. Fuck you. Yeah, Light has normal damage, so there's a chance I could finish him off here. There we go. And we're done. Whew. Yeah, that was a pain in the ass. Anyway, we obtained a Snuff Soul that restores SP, a little bit of SP. So that's not very useful at this stage, to be honest. Since you can just go back out at the end, during at the end of each, once you've moved up a floor, you can then just, go to get full SP restore from the Fox. So yeah, like it makes these items pretty useless. No, I was trying to hit him. There you go. And I think that's it. Yep, that's the first floor done. I believe this has 10 floors. Oh look, it's in Zanami. Very well. I'll be waiting for you at the end of Yomotsu Hirasaka. Yeah, I think so. It told me it was Risa, believe me. So yeah, now we've got a. So yeah, I think it's about 10 floors. In terms of like aesthetically, how the game. Wow, we've got a few. So we've got the Primitive Idol, Weak to Darkness, and then we got the Pure Papillon, which is weak to light and weak to ice. So we're going to use. Let's see how many we can get rid of with light. Oh, look at that! I got rid of 2. I got rid of 3 actually, so that was nice. I think at this point I was just like, oh, fuck this. Because I've got quite powerful weapons at this point, so it's just like, let's just finish this. Let's just hit them. As long as they're not, you know, resistant to physical attacks, then, you know, you'll cause a good amount of damage. So yeah, that was very useful. I've been trying to talk about the look of the dungeon. I would say it's very simplistic, but I think it's kind of cool how you might remember at the beginning of the game we had the what's the name of it? We had the nightmare where we saw these giant corridors. It's kind of cool that you notice that it's the same place. So this is Silent Nyogo. Just use anything apart from physical. Anyway, what was I talking about?
Let's do this, senpai.
Go on, do it. You say no? I say yes. Good. Can't remember, it's been some months since I recorded this shit. Anyway. As I was saying with the, you know, it's kind of cool that you notice if you remember all the way back. That it causes a absolute fuck ton of damage. That, you know, it looks like the same place that you were in. I'm not going to use Ajidan here. Oh my god, that's overkill. Oh, I forgot you can't use physical attacks on these pricks. Anyway, so if you remember back to the original, to the that dream, that nightmare at the beginning of the game, it does look exactly like that. So I think it's kind of nice. It's bringing it full circle kind of thing, which I like that. That's cool. Just all around, I think the design is weird and bizarre. It's unnerving because of how weird it looks, but at the same time, it's simplistic. But not in a bad way. It's like simplistic, but it you know, it really lends to that sense of kind of. I don't know, to me it kind of feels like a sense of doom coming. So yep, they're the Phantom Hero, they're weak to fire, so how'd you dying on those bitches? But yeah, what was the same? Oh yeah. So yeah, I like how it's designed. I think the music is really cool and fun to use. Shoot him with your Uzi! And that's everybody down. We should finish this off fairly quickly. Nice. But yeah, so the design of the dungeons, you know, aesthetically it looks very nice, and kind of simplistic and in a good way, and I just overall quite like it. I think that I think that the other design. I think that the music is really awesome. It's a very foreboding track, which I like as a, you know, final boss, kind of a final dungeon kind of area. It sounds pretty fucking cool. Yeah, so overall I love this place. It's a good dungeon. But I will say that I still think that Marie's dungeon is still my favourite, and I still think that the dungeon is pretty good. So yeah, we're still going through this dungeon. I always find dungeons a little bit difficult. Difficult yet more easier to talk over, because when there's battles going on and I'm showing off battles and I can talk about, you know, boss strategies and talk about strategies with fighting certain enemies, I find that easier. But at the same time, I also find it harder to talk about, you know, the dungeon and to find other things to talk about when there's nothing else going on. But anyway, second floor's done. We're now moving on to floor number 3. And this place looks really familiar. Seen this corridor, you've seen it before, haven't you? Yeah, I remember. Awakening to your power. Could it be fate that I now await your arrival? Okay. Yes. Alright. So yeah, as you can see here, like, it really looks similar now because of the amount of, you know, the fog is covering over the area. I'm sure that it was done as a kind of method to hide bad, you know, poor draw distance. But it looks cool at the very, you know, it is a good effect. I'll give it that. Ice break. Nice resistance nullified. Thank you for that. What was the point? Alright. Weird. So that's the Grudge Tap. Weak to ice, so use ice attacks on him. And these are the crazy twins. They're crazy. Use fire on those assholes. Pretty easy enemy. I do like the tower enemies. They look kind of cool. In particular, but the the twins are really. Yes, use Gyrodyne just on this prick. There we go. Use some common sense, Tom. Bufudan. Yeah, of course. Actually, didn't really cause that much damage. And his defense has gone back up. Use a nice attack here. 3 are down. Let's see if we can take some out. And everybody's gone. Easy fight. Dealt with. I tell you what, there's nothing more irritating in this game than the getting hit by an enemy and having to go second. Pisses me off to no end. Now at level 77. But my Justice, he's got a level 80, so he's learnt a new move, which is a pretty powerful attack. So, but yeah, this yeah, we'll leave that for now. This floor actually has quite a cool little design. It's like a basically a square, which is pretty sweet. Pretty interesting change of level design. Physical mirror, pretty not ridiculously useful, but pretty useful. Creatures at this time, though, they probably won't do that much physical damage to you. But yeah, still pretty comfortable. Still pretty nice to have. Boss time. First mini boss. Here it is. It's a Minotaur. It's a new version of the Minotaur. Or Minotaur, however the fuck you say it. I think he's gonna go first. Haha. Wow. This boss fight got a hell of a lot easier. Fuck you. Fuck you. Goes a decent amount of damage. So this is the Neo Minotaur. Basically, this is what's going to happen pretty much throughout the whole game now. Enemies and bosses having no elemental weaknesses and being null to the light and dark attacks, so just hit him with your most powerful attacks, and just see, and just, you know, cause as much damage as you can. It's pretty simple. At this point, you know, Yukiko and particularly Yosuke will cause a fuck ton of damage with his special attacks. Or Chie as well will cause a brutal amount of damage with her physical moves. But anyway, that's it for this part of Persona 4 Golden. Join me in the next part when we're continuing through the final dungeon of the game, and we will hopefully be able to, and we will be just trying to get to Izanami. I will see you in the next part. See you next time.